Coming to you live from the One More and I'm Outta Here studios. Another episode of One More and I'm Outta Here. And we are blessed with having one of our very, very good friends and also a local politician, Andrew Gerth, is sitting in for Dan Carroll.
Did you say Andrew Gerth?
Andrew Gerth. Because you guys are twins.
Because
You guys are twins. You guys used to be trustees together.
You know what?
I did that on purpose.
He is our second favorite trustee.
We've got Josh Gerth, Andrew Pappas,
he is
Jason Kiefer. Dan Carroll is currently show prepping for his radio show tonight, so he is not here. But Josh was nice enough to come in and sit in.
Well, I don't have a whole lot going on anymore.
And we've got a lot to talk about.
First off, I want everyone to understand what Josh is doing today is hard to do. He had two choices. You could just turtle, or you could just let everyone know that, life goes on and blah, 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 blah.
Now, for everybody that's not from our area, Josh is a sitting trustee who ran for re-election on Tuesday. And unfortunately, the results did not come back the way we wanted them to.
No, and that's what we're going to talk about today, which nationally, look, it was not, let's be fair, nationally, it was not a good day for Republicans. The Democrats were, my lollipop is giving me trouble.
Oh, that's gonna drive me fucking crazy. Y'all
pleases me.
What are you talking about?
My lollipop.
Oh, okay.
the child.
Here's the deal.
You know this.
It was a bad day, and we're going to talk about reasons why, our take on it, at least what we think. But Josh is a stand-up guy, and Josh is like, you know what? I've never known him to back down from a challenge or a fight, and here he is. And you don't. The lesson here is you don't get to win them all. That would be easy. So you get down. If life throws you a curveball, you got to just adapt to it, and you get back up, and you dust yourself off. And here he is. And I think he's going to stay. I don't know anybody, and this is the end of the blowing session. I'll be honest with you. I don't know anyone that works harder or cares more about this township than the guy sitting to my left, because he really lives and breathes this stuff, and he cares. And I wish the voters had reflected that on election day. But because of the many factors, but one of the main factors was, obviously what happens after a presidential election, the natural pendulum swing the other way. Seems like the party in charge gets a bit complacent, thinks that things are great, no reason to vote, blah, 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 blah. The party out of charge says, you know what, we're gonna really get fired up and make sure that we get our people out there. And I think that's what happened. What do you think?
I think you're right. We did everything we could to run a great campaign. I started this thing almost a year ago. Never take this thing for granted, this position that I'm in. It's an elected position, and you shouldn't take it for granted.
How many years?
It was 12 years.
Yeah,
12. And so it was a long time. But I could have just kind of rolled into this campaign season earlier this year and said, well, I'm in office. I got name ID. But we didn't. We raised all kinds of money we've never raised before. We've spent all kinds of time and effort out in the community.
You did.
Reminding people to go vote. These off-year elections are very important. And to Andrew's point, and I hate when he's right, but he is right. There's a complacency out there in these off-year elections, and I think that's I think that is what happened. I do believe that if you look at some of the numbers, and I haven't done any kind of breakdown yet, but I know that on election day, on November 4th, I had more votes than anybody. But my opponents and the Democrat team that was behind them was very organized and very good about getting people out. And they had twice as many in-person votes as we did. And I think there was other contributing factors to it. We can certainly get into that if you want. But I do think that is a big part of what happened on Tuesday. Yeah.
And, I've known you for a good bit, and we've gotten very, very close in the fact that we're both sons of the American Legion. We've been at many community events, and Anderson Township has been better since you've been in, since when I came here in 2002. I can tell you that, and it's not just because you're sitting next to me or because we're buddies.
No, that's partly the reason.
I don't know exactly. Like, I don't know what happened because I was working Tuesday at the firehouse, but my captain, who was off, said, "Hey, allow anybody that wants to go vote, take the brush truck and go vote." Even though they're at the fire, we had enough staffing to be able to cover it. You want to go vote? Yes. Okay. Take the truck. Go vote. Do your thing. Come back. And I had 3 out of 5. The other 2, one myself. I early voted, and this is a question I'm going to get into later. And then the other guy had already early voted. We allowed our people to go, right, wrong, or indifferent, whether that should have happened or not. I don't know, but going out and actually doing it, you have to. But people that sit back on their laurels and don't want to do it, it's too much trouble, or I've got the kids or whatever. Figure it out. You have to get out to the polls and put those votes down.
Well, and what's crazy now is you have an entire month to vote. One day I would, by the way, especially depending, what happened at the election, I would love for it to go back to one day. I loved election day, make it a national holiday.
That's where I was going.
Have everybody take off and make it one day. But it's not. We have 30 freaking days to go vote. And you look at the city of Cincinnati and the turnout in Hamilton County, and you go, really?
Right.
I mean, it is amazing to me. And you mentioned us being part of the Sons of the Legion. How freaking disappointing is it for our veterans and the people who built this country that 20% of the people go out and vote on election day? How disgusting is that?
Yeah, they fought for our ability to do that.
But there's an element in our society, and I think part of it is showing on election day by that lack of enthusiasm, or I should just say the ability to give a shit. I see it. You guys see it. I saw it in our trustee meetings. There's people that come to our trustee meetings and did not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, which is more grossly disgusting.
But
they were on the other side.
Okay, but my point is there is that element exists out there where we've forgotten what this country is all about, and nothing explains it more or proves it how great that it is on the day when you get to go vote. And as disappointed as I am in the outcome of what happened on Tuesday, that's it. The voters spoke.
Right.
And the fact that people don't do it is just ridiculous.
Well, like I said, success breeds complacency. And everyone, this was an off-year election. There was only one levy on the ballot. Well, 2, considering Hamilton County's park levy. But we knew the turnout was going to be lighter. I don't know what the final numbers are. We're still pulling that in. But like he said, the city of Cincinnati for sure was about 28%, somewhere in that range, 20%. That's just ridiculous. And
yeah, that turnout's
especially considering the news that's been coming out of the city of Cincinnati for the past all summer long, most violent summer of my living here. So
there were 7 people shot the weekend before the election.
The weekend before the Sunday. Sunday.
It might as well have been 700.
Right. And so, and if that didn't bring people out, what else is going to? So, again, we have numbers to go through, and this isn't the place for that. But, Josh, you've lived here. I mean, you went to school here, obviously, but then you came back from school and you were trustee for 12 years, 8 of which we served together, which were the best 8 years of your political life. But at the end of the day,
you've been such a important factor in my life.
Such a dick.
But point is, you percentage-wise of how long you've been here, it's a big percentage. I mean,
80%.
80 of the 20.
80 rounded up to the
yeah.
But
the
math is mathing.
The point of the matter is the guy has spent, as long as he's been here, he took an immediate interest in what goes on in the township. I remember when I moved here, Russ Jackson was the trustee. Peggy Rice.
Peggy Rice.
And then Kevin O'Brien was for 4 years, and that was fun.
Well, he was before we got on.
Right before we got on. And, people, there weren't back in those days. There weren't a lot of people involved in politics. I mean, you'd go to the trustee meetings, and it was, it wasn't.
There also wasn't social media. I mean, there was, but it wasn't nearly what it is today.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, definitely not what it is today.
Yeah,
and
that's where I once Andrew's done with his point, I got a point that I want to ask you a question.
But no, my point is that it's rare that people get involved so early and so dedicated. And Josh has, this isn't the blow Josh Gerth show, but
sounds like it.
No, whatever. But I'm just here to say, the amount of time that you committed to this township is impressive, and people need to understand that no one, and I'll say it again, no one has been more dedicated to the well-being of Anderson Township than you have, and for that, the township, like you or hate you, if you voted for you Tuesday or not, and especially if they didn't, they owe you a debt of gratitude and a big fat thank you, because I got into it with one of the people on the other side during the election.
Shocking.
Yeah. I was nice. I actually was nice. And he said, "Oh, he's trying to be my best friend," after I left. And I was like, "No, I was just being nice. This is me being nice," but which rarely occurs. Hey, and he said, "Well," I said, "I'm going in to vote now." And I said, "I'm probably not going to vote for you." And he said, "That's okay. I would have protected your property values, but I didn't vote for you anyway when you ran." And I said, "Well, that's funny, because by what you're saying, the property value here are pretty high. So you owe those high property values to my stewardship as a trustee. I'll take that as a thank you." And the light kind of went on in his head, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I kind of guess I didn't think of that." So my point is, people owe you a thank you because you've left Anderson, as you said in a tough, great speech you gave. I think you've left Anderson better than you found it, and that's the goal of any public servant. So
and I appreciate that, because I do believe that. As difficult as it was, I'll say it again, I think Anderson is in a great position, and we are stronger financially. It's the safest community it's ever been. We have incredible services, and that's what basic local government is all about. We've done that job. I've done that job. Yes, I am disappointed that I can't continue to do it, and there's some things that I'm going to miss, but I can rest easy knowing that Anderson is in good shape today. And we're proud of it.
And I can't wait to see, because we know after, Wednesday morning, we know where you left it, essentially. I mean, you still got to, fill out your term, but we'll see what happens. And let the cards fall where they may, and we'll see what happens. But
I wish them all the success. I want to make that very clear.
Yes.
I mean, we have an incredible team of people, about a little over 100 people that work for Anderson Township. They deserve the kind of leadership that respects what they're doing and puts faith and empowers them to do the jobs that they've been hired to do. So I wish these two all the success in doing just that.
Could I say something else?
Am I allowed to talk, or you just got to keep going,
well,
Andrew?
You're the tech guy.
You fuck off right now. I will mute your mic. I have the ability to mute your mic right now. But no, I wanted to ask Josh. I mean, 12 years of public service, being a trustee, being out there in the forefront, sitting in there in trustees meetings, and just sometimes they're good, I'm sure, but sometimes you're getting browbeat. So 12 years of political service here in a small township level, what kind of toll does that take, though? Because the whole title is The Difficulty of Politics. So, how hard is that?
At times it is hard, but it has gotten increasingly harder because of how terrible things are online. There is this element online, this social media element, that has the ability to spread lies and ignorance and hate. And that stuff does get picked up and is I would say, the fuel for a lot of the things that happen. I've served for 12 years. The majority of that time has been great. Even when we've had disagreements with residents or on a development project or whatever it is, discussions happen. They might be difficult, but they always end and you move on. This past year in particular was horrible. Now, I realized I was running for office, but the amount of people who created fake blogs, fake accounts, I finally learned what Substack is, Reddit, all these.
I
mean,
actually just learned what that is too.
They could not put out enough bullshit online and come up with just the worst stuff you could do. But that didn't stop. They didn't stop there. They came after my job. They called my employer. They called an attorney to try and say that I was using township resources and literally tried, threatening to sue. They came after my family. One woman literally looked, you guys know my dad. My dad is the nicest human being on the planet. And one woman looked at my dad and was like, "That's your son." And my dad's like, "What?" And for the first time and I can remember, my dad looked at her and like, "Do not go there." Nothing is off limits to some of these people. And by the way, it is on both sides, but I saw it clearer than ever this year of how terrible it is. And I said to Melissa at one point, even like 6 months ago, I said, if I knew it was going to be this bad, I don't know if I would have signed up for it. Now, I would have probably done it because I do believe in Anderson Township. I believe in local government. I believe that people need to step up in these roles and do these jobs. You don't see a lot of people do it. And back to Andrew's point, you don't see a lot of people getting involved in politics because it is terrible because of this stuff. And that's a shame.
Well, let me say this. As far as social media goes, it's one thing to, I'm on social media. Maybe you follow me.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of him. But the point is, if I am, shut your mouth. But
Andrea Pappas.
I am saying things to people. I don't find somebody that's just, picking daisies on the side of the road and then give them what they've given. I mean, need I remind people just for a moment, and Josh isn't going to mention, but this all got pretty much started back in the day by a Twitter moniker named Sassy. And they would say the most vile, disgusting, hateful things. And the Democrats here locally knew everybody, knew who it was, the top 3 or 4 Democrats. And we think it's, to this day, we're pretty sure it was multiple people because, anyway, I can't say why. But the fact of the matter is that, that was cool and that was clever and they just giggled about it. And it was okay for them to do heinous things as long as it was kind of in the shadows. But as soon as you brought it out in the public eye through social media and you called them out on it, they made it. The left is very good at doing things and then claiming they are the victims. So if you call them out for being horrible, heinous people, suddenly they're accusing you of being the horrible, heinous person because you're calling their shit out.
You're the asshole.
Which is, to be fair, I am brusque. I am rude. I am a bit short on social media. However,
shake your head. Yes,
I am.
However, I'm 99% of the time, or maybe 100, I'm responding. And I do wish.
And you are you from the standpoint of you don't hide it.
I don't.
He's never changed. He's never changed.
I don't wait. No, what he means is I don't say it under a fake name. I don't say it under a false moniker.
Yes.
I don't hide behind someone's curtain. I just sit there and, you hit, it's you come at me, I'm coming right back at you twice as hard. And I will say this, I wish the new trustees well. I don't wish anyone bad. However, there were a lot of promises made during the campaign. And I'm going to make sure through my ways that those promises are asked about. For example, I expect that there to be no more vape shops ever in Anderson Township. I'd also like to see that, is Coney Island going to be purchased back from the Symphony? And I know that's kind of a joke, but my point is there was a lot of falsehoods. You guys are not paying attention to me.
No, we're listening. You just go on a rant. So
there were several falsehoods claimed during the election that possibly, like we said, how do you react to a lie? And I said this online or on the air, a different show. I said, how do you react to a lie? If someone says a lie and you're in the middle of a campaign, you have two choices. You ignore it or you respond to it. If you ignore it, it kind of goes, it gets a life of its own and might go on. And people are like, why are you ignoring this? You're not addressing it. If you respond to it, then you almost have to restate the lie. So my point is, I saw your campaign. Everything I saw was focused on you and Lexi and the job you guys, your accomplishments, things that you had done, a very positive campaign. When you're the outsider looking in, all you have to do is find one or two things and then criticize the hell out of them or make a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah.
And then
exactly.
you say, how do you respond to that?
Yeah. And by the way, and to your point, his campaign, he ran a campaign.
Yeah.
I mean, he raised between donations and in-kind contributions like nearly $70,000, and he used it mostly on digital advertising. I don't think at the end of the day that him lying about landscaping or vape shops or us hating the park district probably changed a lot of votes. But man, was there a mentality out there of what's going on in Anderson? Questioning, oh my gosh, it just sounds like a train wreck out there. And some of that does resonate with people. And I think it certainly resonates with someone like me, who I take it personal because it is my community and because it is so local. So it does impact just the general, I would say, overall feeling of what goes on in communities when it's being used the way that it's used. And it certainly was this time.
And I'll address something else. Sassy in A-Town has kind of gone away. I don't think anyone pays attention.
No, she moved.
She did?
Yeah.
Well, or they dropped it, or they moved, or whatever.
Ironically, to the West Coast.
Anyhow, but
weird.
Weird. What it seems like when one goes away, two come in its place. I noticed that
Gavin will accept you with open arms.
I noticed that one of their big supporters and part of their campaign, whether he acknowledges it or not, was a local fellow that put up a fake, like he was some sort of journalist, and like he doesn't have any journalistic, in journalism training. Doesn't have a degree. He just seems like anybody with a Facebook page can become a quote unquote journalist, and was spreading a bunch of garbage online, made some fake videos or parody videos that they put out. And, those
one of them was pretty funny. Actually.
One was actually, it was kind of fun. It was kitschy, but,
kitschy.
It's stuff like that people, when you respond to it, so you see it and I see it and the people in the know see it, but then when you respond to it, they then run out and claim that you're a bully or you're harassing. And that's the part that drives me a little bit nutty, because maybe you're supposed to ignore it. But in my life, I haven't gotten to where I am by ignoring things. I respond.
And that's why I was asking, like, going through this process, like when you get all that shit, your family's seeing it, you're seeing it, and you're getting browbeat. Just, whatever, whether it's local politics, school board, senators, congressmen, whatever, they all get it, right? I mean, you're being a politician.
They do, but I would.
So when you start getting fucking hit in the fucking face, and you have to hold that down, like. I want to say that I could do that. I don't know. Like, I don't know that I could do it.
I never did.
By the way, but that's kind of also what we signed up for. And so I don't take a lot of it personally. And even during the campaign, to Pappas's point, we kept our campaign focused on our accomplishments, the things we were planning on doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, you didn't see me mention their name once. I did. You finally said something near the end. And I finally was like, okay, like, because I wanted to say so many times, like, this isn't true. And people would say, well, if you respond or if you start defending, then you're losing. I mean, there's so many campaign strategies. And at the end of the day, none of it mattered. But after a while, Jason, it does get to you. And I think it's worse at local levels.
It is worse
than it is
it's much more personal
at congressional or senator level. Because, I mean, they have so many layers of people, and they're not looking at social media all the time like we are.
They got people that are looking at it.
They do.
They're not physically looking at it. They got people.
Yeah.
So that's just, it just sucks. Like, I know your family,
but I would do it again. I really believe in the process. I believe in local government.
Is this an announcement?
It's definitely not.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to taking some time off.
Sounds like an announcement to me.
No, it's part of what you sign up for these days. That's the reality we live in, is that element's going to exist. And Pappas is just as guilty as anyone.
Of what?
Of being an asshole.
Online. But that's not factually true. Yes.
No, it's factually true.
It's not, because here's the deal.
He worked with you for a lot of years.
He did. And I'll tell you this, trustee meetings got remarkably boring after I left. Let's be honest.
Which is the way they're supposed to be.
Well, no, not really, because they should be fun. But at the end of the day,
I knew this was going to be awesome.
Well, but here's the deal. At the end of the day, maybe I should not have been in politics, and that's a fair question, but I don't take shit well, and I'm not going to let garbage go by without responding to it. I mean, the only thing I took well was one trustee meeting when one of our very large local liberals showed up shortly after my father-in-law's funeral that I came back from just to attend the meeting, sat up there, and everybody was, she can have my time and she can have my time. And she sat up there for about 15, 20 minutes chewing me a new asshole, and I had to sit there and take it. Now that I took well, I didn't respond to that. But after that, I said, you know what? I'm not taking this garbage laying down. So my point is, when I see people, and you know what really pisses me off? When I saw people attacking you or your family, more specifically your family, and I knew that you couldn't get in maybe the ditch with me and fight them, I would take that battle on, because I'm not going to sit there and take this shit.
Right.
And I'm not going to let them berate and attack my friends and my coworkers, or
that's fair,
at the time, or people that are on my side of the aisle, no matter who it is, and just sit there and go, oh, turn the other cheek. I think part of the reason they're so brazen about being so vile is because they know that you can't respond, or you won't respond, or shouldn't respond. And I'm like, fuck off. I'm going to respond, and you're going to hear it from me. And I don't care. I'll call you out by name. I'm going to call you out, on social media. And let me say something else. People that say, and I'll be done.
No, you won't.
Because we talk about this.
No, you won't.
If you follow me on social media and you get offended, at the top of my page says, don't come on here because I might offend you. And then I have blocked.
I do like that. I
have physically blocked all the people that you and I have discussed that then come to a trustee meeting and complain about things I say. So how in the hell are you claiming that you're offended when I've taken the steps to block you, and then you have to physically either create a false persona or go around to find ways to be offended? And my point is, you're looking to be offended. Are you not? You're searching out to be offended if you're coming around all the firewalls I put up, and yet you're offended. That's my problem.
And it was amazing to me to see that these people talking to Josh sitting on the trustee board
about me,
about Andrew Pappas, who has been irrelevant for many, many years.
I haven't been on a
He's
board
irrelevant.
in 4 years.
He is irrelevant.
Yeah.
He hasn't been on the board, and why you're getting like it? It makes no sense.
How's he responsible for what I say?
Correct.
He's not.
Okay,
Correct.
and so let's end it on that, because we've been talking about it long enough. You're right. If I'm going to respond about all the dumb stuff that you're saying online, then isn't it my duty to respond to all of the other dumb stuff and the terrible things that other people in our community have been saying about me? Absolutely. I mean, where do I start it, and then where do I end it?
Right.
And so my approach has been, to Pappas's point, is to ignore it, rise above it, and focus on the job. That's what we did.
Yep.
People are still allowed to come to our meetings and say whatever they want, and they certainly do. But if I'm going to denounce you or do whatever, then everybody's on fair game.
Oh,
and if you want me to start specifically naming names about and the things that people have done, I don't think they want us to do that. I don't think that would be a good look.
You're being a big guy by not doing it.
No, you absolutely
it's not the role of our role is to govern. Our role is to put our heads down and do the job that we were elected to do. The social media stuff's out of control. I'd love to see it all go away. I'd love to see you go away. I'd love to see it all just disappear, because it is the downfall of our society is social media. Yep, and I realize that we're on social media right now, which is
isn't that kind of ironic?
Yeah. All right,
because we're on Facebook.
What's next?
But all right, so let's go to a national level, just because with the way that the
yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Right here.
Thank you.
I'm here to serve, sir.
Thank you.
I mean, with the way the elections went across the country, I mean, everybody was. I mean, the Democrats, they got New York.
They had New York.
That's true. They did.
Well, but you got now a socialist, Muslim, whatever he's called this week.
This is for Dan Carroll.
Oh, nicely done.
I've been practicing.
It actually might be better than Dan's.
Challenge.
And then all the shit. New Jersey, Virginia, California, Gavin Newsom, all this shit. But I got this video pulled up. Let's see. And this that made me giggle when I saw it, so I emailed it to myself. I was like, "Yo, we'll play this." want to make sure the volumes. You're not going to be able to hear it through your headset, just so you're aware. You'll have to hear it through here.
That she's voting for Zohran Mamdani, and remembering back when all of these women were so mad that Trump overturned Roe v. Wade and gave the decision back to the states, they were saying that they feel like they're living in a Handmaid's Tale. Okay. You guys not understand that the makers of the Handmaid's Tale had it take place in the United States so that we could actually understand it better. But it was actually based off the Islamic Revolution in Iran, you know, like where Sharia law was put into place. And now you're going to go vote for someone who holds the same beliefs as these countries that don't allow women to speak, drive, vote, go to school, show their face. But you have it bad here. Oh, not to mention, he's also pictured with the unindicted co-conspirator from the World Trade Center bombings of 1993. Since you guys want to accuse Trump of automatically being guilty when it comes to Epstein since he's pictured with him, could be. So could Mamdani. Just saying. You know what?
So, obviously, yeah, New York is a absolute shit show. Mm-hmm. And I've seen a ton of other videos, the Hodge twins and you know, some very successful podcasters and influential media people. They're like, I can't wait till they change New York's name to Gotham. Because when he gets in and he thinks that he can give everything free, and we played on our last podcast that guy going, well, the MTA is free already. Mm. What's he talking about? He goes, oh, we hop turnstiles. We go in the back of the bus. We go in the front of the bus. We just get on. We just go. Oh, $2.75? No, it's 0.00 cents. And that's the way the New Yorkers are looking at it. Obviously, some New Yorkers, obviously, they voted him in. So on a national level, you being a politician and obviously hanging out with a lot of, you know, people in the state, you know, senators and congressmen, what do you see? Like, what's your opinion on how this works out? Because you have New York, you have the mayor race, the governor race in Virginia and New Jersey. Like, they're all blue states. I mean, we knew that. But this, I mean, I feel like everything went blue this election cycle. So what do we do? Like,
and not I wouldn't say everything went blue. I mean, if you look around the state of Ohio, there were certainly red areas that stayed red or went redder. I mean, like they're it's not all, but the big cities, you're right. They've been blue now. Now they're going down a whole different path.
That's not blue. That's something else.
New York
is not
navy.
Blue. Yeah.
I mean, it's
navy.
It's
I like that.
So yeah, I mean, I guess we wait and see. I mean, if he's that radical and things start dramatically getting worse in some of these bigger cities that are already pretty bad, is there ever a tipping point where people say, wow, this is not working out?
Well, they haven't done it in California yet. And the problem is
with hand talker. Hand talker.
Well, the problem is, as I see it, as I said, New York will be a case study. Now, Jason, you've already commented that there's a lot. I saw the fire commissioner from New York resigned.
Yeah, the fire commissioner is done December 19th.
So he's stepping down.
He said he's done.
Are these guys though that were already close to retiring? Or
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are, but they could stay longer. And Andrew, great segue, because we have the Houston Police Department Union president who is asking any NYPD, and there's potential, and I know a couple guys that are on NYPD, and once that happened, I got text messages yesterday saying, I'm done. Yeah. I'm out. Yeah. I'm leaving. I'm going to go get another job somewhere else. Not even pensionable. Like just leaving. They're done. But the Houston Police Union president talked to make sure I shared it. Yeah, I did. This is absolutely fucking amazing because he was like, come on down. We got plenty of room. We got plenty of room for you. We understand what you're going through. And Texas, Texas is a whole different
beast.
Yeah, it's a whole different beast. I mean, Andrew,
Yeah.
Less than an hour after New York voters chose Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani as mayor, the social media campaign from the Houston Police Union started. posts to tempt New York police officers to make a move. How much of it is really a recruitment effort versus a bit of a publicity stunt?
Right.
Fair.
No, this is all about recruiting.
The union's flyer touts the recent HPD pay raise, support from the mayor, council, and community, and a fair district attorney, Union President Doug Griffith.
We're 1,200 officers short. So I don't care if it's 2 or 200. If we can get some great NYPD guys down here, we'll take them.
During the mayoral campaign, Mamdani backed away from this post on X, which read in part, "The NYPD is racist, anti-queer, and a major threat to public safety. What we need is to hashtag defund the NYPD."
How do you work for a boss that's basically said
That
he
is
wants to
amazing.
defund you
And he won.
and call you racist? It's almost a no-brainer.
While Mamdani has said he no longer supports defunding the police, retired cop, now law enforcement professor Jay Coons says the recruitment push could work.
There's some tongue-in-cheek going on, absolutely. That might provide the incentive for some officers there at NYPD who are a little ambivalent.
As added incentive, the union posted about local bagel shops, Texas' favorite grocer H-E-B, and just how far money goes when it comes to housing.
You can't live in New York if you're a policeman that works in New York. We are clicking on all cylinders right now, and we'll take anybody that wants to come here.
So, I mean,
I think it's brilliant.
yeah, it just shows you, like, it's not the first time that's happened either, because Fort Worth got a bunch of people from Chicago that I know of, a couple of years ago.
Jason, let me ask you a question. How do you, I love how the press, gotta love the media, backed away from this statement. Okay. And then they read the statement. That's not a statement you can really back away from. I mean,
You said it.
It's like,
Anything,
that's not something you can sugarcoat. But
well, it's
Democrats,
like it's like me saying something on this podcast,
Right.
and being like completely derogatory,
and then backing,
and then be like, "Well, I didn't mean it."
But here's the deal.
It's
Isn't
out
that
there.
what you guys
We're-
do every time?
No,
on this
yeah,
podcast?
but-
We're live right now,
The-
and I eat every bit of the shit that I get when I say something
What
because
Josh
I'm
is,
putting it out there because
what-
I know it's there.
what Josh is looking at, and he said, I can't believe it. He shook his head. Could you imagine being a politician making that statement? Okay. And then you're running for the mayor of the city that you're of that city, and they elect you. That's the part that blows your mind. You're
Well-
like, and the media is like, he backed away from that statement because it's a willing and accomplished media that's just like tossing him softballs. He really didn't mean it. That's not, it's taken out of context. There's only one context for that. So as far as I'm concerned, I heard Trump say something that, oh, we still love New York and we're going to help out or whatever. I don't want any of my federal tax dollars supporting the shit show, the giant turd that's going to hit the fan of New York City. I don't want any of my tax dollars paid to clean that up. Just like my position of I don't want federal troops in Memphis because is it Memphisians? People from Memphis?
That sounds right.
Yeah. They should be held responsible for the elections, just how Cincinnati is the same thing in Cincinnati. And to be totally fair and very sobering, just like Anderson Township is going to have to be held responsible for the direction they took this last election cycle. I hope nothing really changes, but to be fair, the priorities of liberal Democrats are not the same as conservative Republicans.
So you don't want any federal dollars going to New York City because of what this guy
I don't
is
want them
saying.
fixing this. No, not what he's saying. I don't want federal dollars spent fixing his screw ups.
Oh,
So
okay.
when the shit hits
I
the
thought you were
fan,
talking about because of
No.
what he said. I'm
No,
like,
no,
that coming from Trump is real rich.
no. What I mean is, let's say that all the police leave and the free, what he promised everything was free except for the bar at his acceptance at his own acceptance party.
Government grocery stores. You got buses. You got
rent, free
daycare.
daycare.
And we played last podcast. They said, what happens if he freezes the rent and the landlord gets to a point where your washer breaks down
Ain't getting fixed.
and he doesn't have enough profit margin to bring it in, to get it fixed.
Yeah,
And this dumb libtard was like, well, that's his problem. Well, in my mind, you're going to smell like patchouli oil and be walking around Central Park.
smell like what?
Patchouli oil. Have fucking dreadlocks at that point because you can't wash your hair because you your plumbing's done, your washer's done. You can't do. They can't fix anything.
Free doesn't work.
They're not getting a profit margin. So why would they do that?
Yeah, and I don't want Trump sending troops into New York City to restore the peace after there is no more peace because the police don't want to work, or the police have all left. So that's my point. Elections have consequences, and we say that all the time. And sadly, we're going to probably be experiencing that here in some way, shape, or form. What I hope happens is that, as they knew these politicians that make Mondami, for example, as he gets in office and he has to actually govern rather than campaign, he probably sees that a lot of the stuff that he said can't be implemented. And he's moderated a bit. I hope that happens locally here too. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, how do you make those claims?
God, it's ridiculous.
How do you make those claims?
You should open a vape shop in Anderson Township. Sorry,
that's actually
you
funny.
teed that up.
That's actually pretty funny. That's actually funny. Find me a space.
I know a good broker. Who's never mind.
No, don't say it.
I could totally get.
I know you're gonna say it. Don't say it.
There are so many ways.
Do we? Okay, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Good Lord,
you're a guest. I appreciate you being here.
Do we care what happens in New York City?
From a case study standpoint, do you care? Probably not.
I don't. By the way, I'm not saying that in a negative way. Like, who cares what happens? I'm saying, do we care as a country what happens in New York City?
I think things trickle down from New York City.
It's our biggest city. I mean, I would think that. I mean, it's our
things trickle down.
I mean, you
is it going to affect you and I and Andrew? I don't know.
But let's just say that it is a total disaster, and everything he does just changes the complete dynamic of that city, and it financially, morally, and everything else goes bankrupt.
Right.
Could that also be a wake up call to other cities? Because here's what I look at what happened in the city of Cincinnati.
Right.
Oh,
it's out of control. I work in the city of Cincinnati.
Correct.
I walk from my building at 3rd and Walnut up to the square to get lunch when I'm down there.
You do?
It smells like urine. There's homeless all over the place.
Pot? Does it smell like pot?
Yeah, but I'm
used to that.
My point is, this is outside.
Because he opened all those vape shops.
This is right. This is outside of all the people getting shot, getting murdered, all the crime issues,
fights.
These are things I witness on a daily basis. Okay. And yet, what did AFTAB win by?
80%.
Yeah.
80-20.
A ton.
A ton. And I know a couple of the council members that
Corey
got reelected.
Bowman's a good dude.
But
I like him.
And I know a couple council members in city council that got reelected who are great people. And I think they're the right people to be on that. But they didn't get elected because they're the right people. They got elected because they were on that ticket. And yet every single problem that's been exposed over the last however long in downtown Cincinnati, and AFTAB gets reelected without even like blinking an eye.
Oh yeah, he didn't do anything. I mean,
he
did campaign.
I'm going to circle back to what I asked before. What changes that dynamic?
It's got to get so bad. You asked a great question. It's got to get so bad that people eventually vote with their feet, and they leave the way a lot of people have left California, but that hasn't changed. You hope that at some point there's a cause and effect, that the light bulb goes on and people say, you know what, this really doesn't work. And you ask a fantastic question, because your policies while being in government were the complete opposite of that. Good governance, low taxes, public safety as a priority. You never suggested defunding the police here locally, as I remember. So you would hope people would connect the dots, but given the cover that they're given by media, national media especially, I don't know that can happen. California is another case study. You know, a lot of businesses. Texas is thriving. Florida is thriving. I mean, can you imagine?
I love Greg Abbott's thing.
Yeah,
said if you're leaving New York, I'm going to tariff you, which is unconstitutional. You can't do it.
No,
but he was like, I'm going to tariff you if you're leaving New York just because of him. I'm going to tariff you.
All right. So, is Florida and Texas and other areas that you think are thriving because of the government? Or are they thriving because of the weather, the amenities, the location?
Both.
Okay. And so, city of Cincinnati.
But Texas is pretty hot. So I don't tell you the weather. I mean, other
Well, I
than
mean,
lack of
it's one of the
snow.
factors.
Yeah.
The city of Cincinnati has
Property taxes are high, but there's no income tax.
Go ahead.
I want to say the city of Cincinnati has an amazing infrastructure of businesses, chamber, our convention and visitors bureau with the new
just being redone.
And by the way, all of these things, the three major league teams that we have, all of these things contribute to the solution to the problem of what's going on down there. But we're waiting for AFTAB to fix it. AFTAB is not going to fix it.
No, absolutely not.
Well, the business community, we have the CBC and the CBRC, the John Barretts of Cincinnati have to fix this problem.
Well,
yes, they spoke up, and Brittany Ruby Miller, who spoke up and said, we got to change things. That's how it changes.
Okay, but
everyone's waiting for the government to change these things, and they're never going to change it.
But the government affects your policing, and let's be fair, a lot of the problem
has
downtown.
Anybody from the private sector stepped up and said, "Here's how we're going to fix it," or are they just waiting for?
Well, they can't elect judges.
What do you mean they can't elect judges?
Private sector people can't really affect the people that get elected to judges. These Democrats are.
What do you mean? Of course they can. They have complete influence over elections in the sense of here's who we're going to back. Here's the right person. Here's who we're going to give money to.
Well, I can tell you that I don't think they backed. I think that a lot of the people are fearful of being public backing candidates. Like, was Judge Silverstein backed by the business community?
That's why I'm asking.
So my point is that what happens is, I understand what you're saying. They can solve a lot of the problems, but on the flip side, the government is responsible for their primary responsibility is you've lived it, is public safety. So when you have a mayor that appoints someone like Iris Rowley to be on the citizen review committee or whatever it's called, and she's horribly anti-police, and no one is able. What you're saying is true. Is if someone could tell the mayor, the business community could tell the mayor, listen, this crap needs to stop, and you need to start being more pro-police and letting the police be proactive rather than reactive. Then this stuff will stop, because how many billions of dollars have been invested in downtown Cincinnati? And even with everything that you say, the stadiums, the convention center, the improvements, you just said it yourself. You walk downtown, you walk to Fountain Square, and you smell urine and or just squalor.
Listen. A lot of business people think the same way I do in terms of what's going on downtown on a daily basis.
But you have outside of the voters of voting the judges, the correct judges, in the mayor, all those people. But you do have people like the Ruby family who. But they don't make that coalition.
They don't live. I don't live downtown. We don't get to vote.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going back to what I asked before. The private sector and everybody that runs corporations, that runs these giant organizations like the Chamber,
P&G's downtown.
We have to do something about how do we supplement, and maybe that's not the right word, but how do you fix a image problem, a community problem, a policing problem if the government doesn't fix it? Even if that's their job to fix it, Andrew, and they're not fixing it, do we just let it go? And I'm circling back all the way to now to New York City. If it continues to be a problem, do you just let it go and see what happens, or do you try and fix it a different way?
Well,
you got to figure out what that different way
is. But nobody
is.
asks the question of how do we fix it a different way? No one looks at like the communities, like the suburbs, or the people, or the towns, the townships, the villages, the cities that are doing it well, and says, oh, okay, they just keep doing the same thing and pressing the same button, which is exactly what happened on November 4th.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I said that at some point, when is the dots going to be connected?
I don't think it's going to get connected ever unless it changes in the private world, unless the private sector tries to change it and do something drastic, change it from a city council to a county council.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, regional.
A regional council.
Okay. I think that's been proposed, but and
it does. And there's areas like the Unigov kind of thing where it does work, and sometimes it doesn't
and
work.
You know what's
no
funny?
One's willing to make the attempt to try and change it.
Well, the powers that be ain't gonna let that happen.
You bringing that up is actually funny. Like in the political world, in the fire world, there has been talk, and I've been in the fire service for 25 years. There has been a talk about Hamilton County being one department. There are departments in Florida, they have county departments. Problem is, here we have 43 different fire departments within Hamilton County. We have multiple ladder trucks, multiple engines. Every department has all of their shit, right? So if you put it all together and make one county department, problem is people don't want to relinquish power. So like all these fire chiefs, 43 fire chiefs or 42.
They don't want to give up their little.
They don't want to give up their bailiwick. That's their thing.
Look, I
Anderson Township and Union's Claremont, but that's where I used to work. But you have in Hamilton County 43 different fire departments. So why does Elmwood need an engine if you've got
someone else right there?
You've got someone else right there. And it's been talked about my whole fire career.
Right.
But so it's exactly what you're talking about.
He's raising
unifying.
He's raising a great point. And I don't know how, I don't know how the private sector, I guess, and he's asking, how does the private sector get involved in making these changes? And I mean, till it gets, and probably it's going to take it being so bad that they are forced to do it. And maybe that's sad, but if it wasn't bad enough this summer, when is it going to be bad enough? I mean, seriously, just now as we walked in here, there was a report on the news that a large group of youths were beating the shit out of each other downtown Cincinnati.
I was just going to bring that up, you fucker. I was just going to bring that up.
Okay, so when does it? And today's a school day. Go figure, right? So, I mean, when is it going to get so bad? I respect the fact that the Rubies, Brittany spoke up and said something, and it kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit because I was like, "Whoa, I've never seen anyone do that." But to your point, I haven't heard any of the business. Have you? I mean, you're closer. You're on, OKI. And that represents a lot of regional. That's kind of a regional deal.
Oh yeah.
Has there been more of a chatter that you've heard? You're very tied to the business community. Is there more of a chatter of, hey, this has gotten out of control, we have to fix it?
And I've heard Barrett speak on the radio about what's going on, and he does. I know everyone is concerned about it. They all obviously have plenty of investments downtown, but again, look what just happened on Tuesday. And Aftab got up and gave a great speech and, promised we're going to focus on public safety. That's number one thing he said.
Someone's telling us to fuck off, which I have to.
Don't
push.
To your point, will it happen? So I
don't push the button. Is that what you said?
Don't push the button because I don't want to. He doesn't understand what he's talking about.
I kind of want to, though.
No, please don't, because he's so stupid. He doesn't.
How mad are you going to be if I do
it? How's the next show doing?
Is somebody yelling at you?
No, it's one of our local.
He hates Pappas and he hates you,
and he hates Dan. Me? Yeah, he hates you because he's a.
All right, we're doing it.
He's a never Trumper. He's a liberal. He's a liberal loser that doesn't understand.
I mean, I can understand hating you.
But. Well, yeah, but he talks a big game. But I mean, it wasn't big. The other side when they bitch about vape shops, they bitch which. I'm not going to get back into local politics, but my point is, as an attorney, when an attorney's running for office, I would think he'd be held to a higher standard to maybe speak the truth. And he doesn't hate Gerth. He likes Gerth. He's got a man crush on Gerth. Be careful.
He's got to be talking about you.
He's probably talking about me, but he doesn't like manly men. At the end of the day,
who is it? Do we know who it is?
Jason does. He's buddies with him.
Oh.
But at the end of the day, what my big problem with that is
it just helps the algorithm.
It's not possible to do. It's just not possible to do legally. The township doesn't. So you wouldn't understand about this because you don't know anything about.
Did we just switch topics again?
Yeah, a little bit because I was just about. Oh, douchebag.
It's because I clicked it.
Yeah, he's a douche.
I like to get Andrew going on a little bit of
whoever it is. I love the fact he's giving you shit.
Well, that's fine. He's a loser.
The fact that he's still watching and still giving you shit.
He comes on every show.
That makes me smile.
Dude, it helps the algorithm so much.
Jason invited him to be on the show, but miraculously he was
he will say
if you had one now that's the kind of show you should have. Bring someone on here. You sit in the middle. You guys have No, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't have
I can't control myself that much. I only have a certain amount.
He says that he would come on, but like timing and scheduling and then trying to figure out what this guy wants to do or whether he will do it.
Oh, he was arguing with you. Sorry, Joe. I
think it's amazing though, but it helps the algorithm every time.
It's amazing when you get people in front of each other how the tone changes.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. No,
we need more of that.
Right.
We need more of that.
Oh,
we do.
Yeah.
I mean, although in front of you,
it's hard.
I'm actually nauseous.
That's right.
Honest.
Hey, real quick, I'm gonna and you know this guy, but Kevin Murphy Engraving.
Oh,
yeah. He's one of our sponsors. We're gonna throw a sponsor ad out real quick.
Hi, everyone. Dan Carroll here. Time to tell you about a great new sponsor for the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. It's Murphy Engraving. Murphy Engraving is the place to go for your business, industrial, and personal engraving needs. Take a look at the Murphy Engraving page on Facebook, and you're going to see all kinds of unique items that really seem to take on a life of their own because they've been customized with an image, a name, or a logo, and all of it just really beautifully done. The acrylic sports awards that light up are especially creative and very cool. The customized bottles of bourbon, those are my personal favorite. And wait till you see what they can do with items that are made out of wood. The next time you want to recognize someone special or you're looking for that one-of-a-kind gift, you'll be glad you checked out Murphy Engraving. And a bonus, you're supporting a local family-owned business run by brothers Brian and Kevin, who is a lifetime firefighter and Air Force vet. At Murphy Engraving, they turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, and at Murphy Engraving, we are American-made.
Dan Carroll, never heard of her. Never heard of her ever. Dan, we miss you though. You're doing your thing on 700, which is awesome, which I love. But
I do like him on 700.
He's good. He's fantastic. He actually should have a full-time spot.
He should have a full-time show in between the commercials.
Fills in a lot.
Yeah.
He's a good filler.
You could literally take Sloan out and throw him there.
Yes,
and that's perfect.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly.
Sloan is not good.
Dan. You know what the best part of Dan is? He does show prep. I mean, he really does. He researches his stuff. He's a smart guy. And
if he does a 3-hour show,
right,
he's 6 hours worth of show prep.
Well, they have a lot of commercials,
but he'll still do 6 hours worth of show prep, which I mean, I appreciate that. Like that's his passion. That's what he loves.
But I mean, to my way of thinking, he should have a spot on.
To my way of thinking.
So,
Josh, shit, everybody's got a drink now.
So
it's almost like 100%.
100%. Tuesday was, obviously Tuesday. Today is Thursday. It's been 2 long days. I mean, has it sunk in yet? Like you how much more free time you're going to have?
Yeah, we've started looking at houses in Claremont County. Now, listen, it's okay. I was disappointed, and yes, I was actually surprised. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how much time and effort we've put into trying to get messages out of what we've done, and the time and effort spent to do that. And it was about reminding people that there's a local election,
right?
But it's over. The voter spoke. It's time to move on. And that's what I'll do. I'm still going to be doing a couple things related to the township stuff on other boards. And I'm going to get back to focusing on some other things, including my job that I've ignored for the last 6 months.
I mean,
my partners are like, "Oh, thank God
he's here." Well, I mean,
he's back. He's back.
Lord.
And just so everyone knows, Josh is commercial real estate, and he
maybe I should sponsor the podcast.
He don't make promises.
We'll take it.
That takes a lot of work, and it's a challenging environment. And I can tell you firsthand that he did sacrifice a lot of his personal and professional career for the sake of the township
and family life
and family. And I mean, get your boys.
But you know what? Let me interject here real quick, because I was the most upset I was at Tuesday was walking into that the Post at night and having to face Melissa and the boys.
Yeah.
Because the boys I mean, and Reagan's at OU, and you know she would have been there obviously if she could. But as a father, you never want to let your kids down, and that to me was like the biggest thing.
Yeah, but that wasn't you.
No, but then my son, Holden, who plays football, my son Gerth, who plays basketball, both wrote me separate notes, and they said, "This is what life is about. You've taught us this adversity. We lose in sports, we lose in things. You figure out how to get past it and move on."
That's great.
They reminded me of this is not the end of the world. I love Anderson Township, and I'm going to miss being in that role, but it's okay because I do think that the people that are going in there, they live here. They're going to learn real quick what the job entails. And I hope for the best. And I think that's what will happen.
That's amazing. I love the fact that your kids did that. That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And you're going to have time to watch them play these sports. I mean, not that you missed them before, but you're going to have more time.
Well, I can be a little more invested in all things family, which is not a bad thing.
Which is great.
Yeah, plus, I can now listen to your stupid podcast.
Well, say the word stupid again.
Nicely played.
You know, I will say this.
Now I need you to sponsor it since you just said that.
Well,
How much is it?
We'll talk. You want it
we'll talk off
I just
air.
lost a large part of my salary.
We'll talk off
air. Can your campaign make a donation? I will say this on behalf of the new trustees, and I hope they're listening. Maybe they aren't, but I hope they do.
Not.
Well, but maybe they'll catch it on the rebound. Somebody, I can guarantee you, someone is listening that will give it to them.
We get some weirdos in here.
I hope they realize, and I went into it. I know you went into it with the same attitude. You know, although you are a trustee, you are, you know, our staff or your staff, the township staff, so about 100 and something people. I don't know the exact number.
That's about right.
But, you know, those people, trustees come and go. The staff usually stays through multiple trustees. And the attitude that, you know, you are not, and I didn't have this attitude. I know you didn't have this attitude. You're not their boss. I mean, technically, and maybe some technical jargon, maybe you could be considered boss-ish, but those people, you know, you should respect the fact that they've been there longer than you. They know their roles. They've been here running and doing their jobs, I think, exceptionally well. And in the past, we had a trustee that came in and treated some of those people pretty poorly. And I hope that is not, I hope I hope there's not a sanctimonious, elitist attitude, bossish attitude brought into it, because you have to respect those people. Those are government employees, local government employees.
They make your job easier.
They make your job easier. They're there they're there for you. They're there for the township. Don't come in like a bull in a china shop and think that you're gonna, you know, better than them. Please, I'm imploring you. I know a lot of those people very well. I'm not going to name them, but I know them very well, and I know the amount of care that they have for this township and the amount of hours that they put even off the clock that they work for the township. So please have that attitude. That's my impart to them.
It's a good point. And it also, I think, is what government and people miss. We like to rail on government. We just spent an hour railing on government. There's so many good people that work in government, and they are thankless jobs. And it's not as terrible as people make it out to be. The policies, some of the leadership, the elected officials that are involved in government tend to skew what is really going on behind the scenes. And that is a lot of people. There's a lot of people down at City Hall. There's a lot of people in the government building at Hamilton County, a lot of people in Anderson Center doing great things. And I hate the fact that, you know, anything we might say or anything anybody might say takes away from that. Those people are dedicated to getting up every morning and trying to make their communities better.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well, Josh, I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, I know the last couple of days have been a little bit of a whirlwind, but we appreciate you. Obviously, you're a friend, but you've been a great public servant to Anderson Township, and I appreciate you being here. I think Andrew and I said Sunday. Did we say Sunday?
You asked me what I was doing Sunday, and I said nothing.
All right, so
figures.
We'll come back. We'll come back Sunday. We'll see if Dan's here or not.
You're not going to have a lot more free time lately.
Maybe we'll bring Josh back.
I'll put it to good use, though.
We'll bring Josh back.
You're on our show.
We're not going to be disappointed by the Bengals this Sunday because they're on a bye week, so we don't have to worry about that. So we don't have to cry. But everybody, remember, like, subscribe. just push us out to some people and listen at least to this episode as far as democracy and the way politics are.
You're still our mayor.
But we love you guys and we appreciate you. See you.